Hello, myself Sunil here. Basically, we are discussing another topic, that is city creation. This city creation, Microsoft creation, Microsoft planet creation. In this, basically, we are discussing. We have already discussed this government thing basically, and that basically we have discussed long before basically. Then basically, this person don't believe in the system basically created by the government. So the government has created the system basically. That is the one system basically. Bin Laden story basically. That is one system basically created by the government basically. That if anything basically happens wrong basically, then you have to pick these all stories. This story basically. You have to pick that story. You have to pick this story. You have to pick this story basically. And that story basically are literally written basically by the group basically. That means there are many companies basically which are not registered basically, that I am 100% telling basically, but they are doing the work basically. So it might possible that basically the news agencies, no, basically, if after this everything basically we listened basically, so one thing is confirmed basically, that the news channel basically which are doing the telecast, no, basically they basically have multiple areas basically. For example, NDTV basically, or basically Aaj Tak says that basically they are doing the telecast from where basically, they are doing the telecast from Delhi. But really basically I am 98% telling basically they are not doing the telecast from Delhi basically. They might be doing some telecast from other state only basically. They might be doing this telecast from different state basically. But that is basically in India only basically. It might be in Gujarat, it might be in Karnataka, it might be in Maharashtra, it might be in some Kerala, it might be in some other state basically. Few people say that if they keep the entire news agency in one state only and one city only, but that is going not going to work basically. One day basically anybody will track that basically. So they basically don't keeps in one state basically. They keeps in different state only basically, each and every news channel basically. So just see basically up to what level the news channel basically groups are also basically, up to what level the news channel groups are also basically, because they are directly connected with the search engines basically. Whenever they are going to read the news basically, that time the data basically is activated, and the data basically which is dumped in the internet basically, that is created by the content writer basically. So just imagine basically the content writer basically, where basically they might be sitting basically, from where basically they are creating the stories basically. So few people say that the Wikipedia है जो सब है उसके पास, because Wikipedia is connected with each and every stories, but he is basically also getting the link from the other websites basically, and that websites basically are the set of stories basically, and that stories basically are written by set of groups basically. So that is the union basically, you can say that is the union of set of internet group basically, you can say. वन ऑफ द पर्सन बोलता है जो बॉम्बे स्टॉक एक्सचेंज में जो पैसा पड़ा है ना 200 करोड़, 99% मनी बेसिकली आर ब्लैक, 1% इज वाइट बेसिकली. Few people say I don't think basically it's black basically, it's 99% white basically, 1% is black basically. But after this every entire story basically, few people says that basically 99% is black and 1% is white. So you can just imagine basically the crores of rupees basically are getting transaction basically, crores of rupees. So that is white basically, but the money basically that is 99% black basically. So how much money basically that might be basically. So you can just imagine basically black and white money. So few people says that basically we don't believe in system basically. So this is system basically of the government basically, and which is basically stories basically written. That means few people says that each and every parliament member basically are connected with the set of incidents. That are the Bin Laden story which was written basically. That was written by one of the MP MLAs basically, or basically it might possible that currently futures chief minister basically he might have written basically, and mostly basically he might have written in one language basically, and then basically it might have converted basically, And few people says that if the big incidents basically are going to happen, basically they basically writes in those language basically, that language basically is not existing in the internet only basically. So few people told that basically which language basically this which does not exist in the uh, internet basically. So he told that basically need to check here basically, because there basically the stories are going to come of the big level basically. Big level stories basically are going to come from there only basically, because that is not translated into the internet basically. So that basically is the big level story basically which is going to come basically. So one of the person told that yes basically this basically which is written basically, that is also basically connected with the internet only basically. This is also connected with the disease only basically. So one of the person told that we basically don't believe in system basically. So the person basically don't believe in the rules also basically. So system and rules basically, few people say that system and rules basically are different. Few people say that the system and rules basically are totally different. Rules basically are created by the set of groups, and that basically and then basically they are basically set of sections, this that basically each and every things basically are practically done, and they say that basically this is the example of these particular rules, and they basically literally write that example also basically, which is created practically basically, basically. So this is also basically one of the dangerous topic basically, and this basically is everything basically. So one of the person told that basically medical group basically that are basically what to say basically that medical industry basically might be knowing everything basically. They might be connected with the news agencies basically. Then it because they know the basically when this disease is going to come, when basically medicine is going to come from the market, and what would be the name of the medicine basically. The box is also prepared of the medicine name. Then he told that yes basically that is because if they basically say that basically Bin Laden basically exists, they basically day or night basically they created the Bin Laden, then basically what about these medicines basically. Then he told that need to check basically where the box are prepared, where the medicines are prepared, where the chemicals are prepared, where the barcode of this particular medicine basically are dumped in the which server basically, how basically they decide the price, how basically the tax basically are calculated, because tax is also deducted basically. Medicine basically which is prepared, for that basically tax is also deducted. So you can just imagine basically up to what level the basically the things basically are connected basically. That also very badly basically. So few people says that basically यार इसने तो साइबर इंडस्ट्री में तो धमाल कर दिया. धमाल मीन्स he basically searched with few basically keywords ना basically, that was धमाल basically. So one of the person told that ये जो government कर रही हो क्या है basically, they are literally doing double धमाल basically. We basically just search the data basically. They basically literally do the practical things basically. They are doing the everything basically practically. We are just doing the searching basically of particular thing basically. We are just doing the searching basically of the particular thing, but these people basically are doing everything practically. So in next video basically we are going to see few more achievements of the governments and few more achievements of this this diagram basically. That one person told that basically that child don't listen basically. So there he converted into medicine, he converted into disease basically of that particular child basically. Now basically that child basically got some big disease basically, because they have converted into disease basically. That child basically don't listen the parents basically. That employee don't listen the boss basically. They basically given the disease basically, and that person basically died basically. That person is not going to the gym basically. So they created the energy basically. After that basically gone to the gym basically, literally basically. So next video basically we are going to see a little bit more about this basically.